Good morning, everyone. This is Jeff, Goods Golden's farm. Just wanted to show you we got two more eggs. This makes 3 from our hens. So excited about getting the hens laying. Should be getting a steady supply of eggs from now on. They are a little small, which is expected because they're juvenile. I guess pullets is coming into laying, but expect them to get bigger as they go. Was able to, for those of you that follow my loose lamb videos, I was able to catch her Friday afternoon, which was very relieved and grateful for. She was out from Monday through Friday, so pushing 2 weeks, and did not get taken by predator, which is great. It's a peaceful, calm, wet morning here, Central Ohio. Probably got a half inch of rain last night, I think. We got plenty of rain for August here. As you can see, I've got tons of vegetation and wildflowers and grasses and clovers, and using my animal impact here with my new lambs and my chickens to regenerate this land and make this pasture lush with forage. There's the lambs. This is our little setup here. I've got a perimeter fence built now around this Premier One fencing. You know, it's probably going to do it the other way around. I'm probably going to get another section of Premier One fencing and then just do daily moves with these guys, or maybe not daily, but every other day. Give them like 14 feet and front fence them with a single poly wire. So I'm going to get another section of this fence here, and I'm going to put it out in front. And then inside that, I'm going to put these step-in posts. So I'll have the Premier One will actually be the perimeter fence. And then I'll run a couple strands of this poly wire on the inside and train them down to 1 wire about 10 feet off the ground. So it'll be basically that second notch on these black step-ins. I'll be able to train them to stay off of the perimeter fence. The perimeter fence then will just be to keep them in and to keep predators out, and then they'll be trained to this single wire or single poly braid. You know, I know that a lot of ranchers do that, including my YouTube mentor Greg Judy. There's the lambs. There's the lamb that has her back to us, is the one that was on the run for almost 2 weeks. And she's glad to be home. Towards the end, I could tell that she was being stressed and lonely and kind of wanted to get captured, but she was scared at the same time, so it was quite the ordeal. I'll get into that in more detail in another video if you haven't seen that already. I've just got to figure out the sequence of how I'm going to publish those, but I want to continue to make videos here. Here's the chickens. Just spread some scratch grains out here this morning. I do have some hawks in the area, so I've got to be aware of air predators here, but I do let them out just periodically. I moved this portable eggmobile onto fresh grass last night, and so they've got plenty of fresh grass inside the run as well as under the coop, so you can kind of see the grass that they've got. This was the impact that they put on the last move. So you can see I've got plenty of carbon laid down on this ground. I went out and just laid those, didn't mow them. I just ran over them basically with my mower and pushed all this carbon down on the ground. Got thistles and some weeds, but as you can see, there's plenty of stockpile grass here as well. As we control these weeds, hopefully the grass and the clover and the timothy and the warm season grasses will come back, and then this will become good forage. Just kind of an example of what I'm talking about. There's some nice grass coming through that carbon there that was laid down. So hopefully as all this There will be some weed seed in here, but hopefully as we move around the farm here with chickens and sheep, we'll be able to knock down this weed pressure and regenerate this entire pasture. But you can see I've got essentially a natural civil pasture started here. I've got several of these, blackberry. This is all some woody stem stuff over here. Some of that's weeds, but there's some woody stem stuff, and there's, trees sporadically in here. This one took a hit. It's probably not going to make it. That's a little tree. There's one right beside it. So as we go through here, some of these, that one will make it. So that will become shade in the future. So we'll let some of those go in here, and there's a bigger one there that I ran over, but if it's going to survive, it'll survive, and it'll be stronger for it, and that will provide shade here in the pasture. But as you look around here, this roughly 4-acre pasture has got some nice trees coming up, and so as I move this fencing across the pasture here, my intention is just to keep moving them forward 14 feet every time I move them. So it'd be essentially one of these sections of the Premier One fencing. So I'll front fence every move across these 14-foot sections here, and then we'll put impact on the ground. I'm trying to put quite a bit of impact on the ground right here just to get things established. My goal is to put 50-foot no-dig garden beds right here where this Premier One fencing is. It'll pretty much cover the front of this barn. So the beds will start at this post here, this gate post, and then basically go straight across where the fence is there, and we'll have a nice lane here in front of the barn, and then they'll go 50 feet that way, and I'll probably do 30-inch beds with 12-inch aisleways with wood chips. I'll lay down cardboard, and then I'll lay down mulch, and then I'll cover the walkways with wood chips. And it's just a really nice way to keep weeds down. Can't hear the wild birds today. I'm always on the lookout for hawks up here while I'm out with the chickens, while I have them ranging. But usually I let them spend, 35, 40 minutes with a cup of coffee and just watch them closely and throw down some scratch grains. In this case, I threw down some oats. But yeah, I'm expecting at least 2 more eggs today. I got 1 or 2. I think I have 2 hens now laying out of these. And there's the nesting boxes. I don't know exactly for sure when they're laying yet. I think it's a little bit early yet this morning. But yeah, they've been using the nesting boxes. I really haven't looked inside today to see if one may have laid something inside. I'll check it out now. Outside of the nesting boxes, but I don't see anything. So here's my watering system. I've just got a 5-gallon bucket with those nipple waterers about 2.5, 3 inches off the floor. And then I've got the feeder that'll hold I think it holds 9 pounds of feed. That'll last them about 2 days. And of course they have plenty of forage out here in their run and outside when I let them free range. But yeah, that's an update from the farm. There's a look at all the girls. Got one roosting on my coffee chair. And those are not hawks. Those look like crows. But I always keep my eyes open for hawks. And one nice thing about the hawks up here is they start screeching when they get in the area, so it gives them a little bit of a warning. But those of you who had chickens, you got to be careful, always be aware of hawks. And I'd like to let these guys free range as I build my American breast flock, which I'll give you an update on those as well. For this flock here, I'll probably build a coop in the end of this barn right here and let these girls free range, but I am going to have to figure out some kind of aerial protection because I've got these big trees all over here, and hawks like to go into those trees and then come down and prey on the chickens. So I've got to deal with my air predator issue. You can stay tuned for future videos to see how I'm going to manage that. Just got water for the sheep. I don't plan on feeding them anything except for water. They're going to have plenty of stockpile. They'll stay outside all winter here. I'll put them in the woods when they need cover, but they won't be in the barn or anything. That's going to be better for their respiratory, their worms and everything else. Not animals, sheep in particular, aren't meant to be in barns. They're meant to be out grazing. And then I'm going to give you just an update on these American breast chicks that I hatched a few weeks ago. They're about, I think Tuesday, they'll be either 3 or 4 weeks old. I think maybe 3. They're growing really well, really active. Starting to get their blue feet already. And I'm supposed to get 25 more, 25 more, which will get me up to 35 on Tuesday from Michigan. They were supposed to come this past week, but my breeder, the guy I'm buying them from, his wife had her 3rd baby boy, so they got delayed a week. So I'm looking forward to getting those on Tuesday, and then I'll have 35 to choose from to start my American breast breeding flock. Stay tuned for that. As I continue to build this flock, I'll continue to post videos. But yeah, everybody have a good day, good weekend. I'm very grateful. I got my lamb back. Now I have 3. And that'll be the start of my herd. I'd like to grow these ewes to a flock of about 18 to 20. I think I have plenty of forage, but 8 acres here with all the civil pasture down in the woods. And back here in this corner, you can just see the lush forage we have growing here for this livestock. So I'm excited to keep. You can see the impact that they have on here, the difference just in a couple of weeks on what they're having on this, eating this grass down. There's where the fence was and where it wasn't. This is more impact that I'll put on normally. I'll move faster than this because we need to grow a winter stockpile, so when you come off of it, it looks more like this than this. 2 reasons I'm leaving them on this. One is they're new to the farm here, and I don't want to spook them and lose them again, and just get them settled in here, which is a mistake I made to begin with, which I'll cover in another video. And then I want to put a lot of impact just on this area to knock these weeds down for this market garden, no-dig garden I'm planning on putting in right in this area here. That'll be very close to the barn here and easy to manage, and hopefully we won't have the wildlife pressure that we have when we have where we have the garden now, which is on the back fence line. I'm going to sign out here, folks. Have a great day, great weekend. I'm grateful to get my lamb back, and stay tuned for our next video.